much of the scriptures is narrative. It's a story of what God has done in people's lives and how He's acted and moved. And as a result of that movement of God, what's happened in someone's life and how He's got glory for Himself. And even if we look at the New Testament and some of the writers that we think of, perhaps not in terms of story like the Apostle Paul, it's amazing how often he uses his testimony. You know that in the book of Acts, the story of Paul's conversion is told 3 times in detail. In great detail, he describes what happened to him. Acts chapter 9 is the original account. He was out there, violent man, a murderer actually in terms of the intents of his heart. He was violently opposed to Jesus. He was persecuting the church. He was on his way to find Christians that he could confiscate their property and imprison them. And on that journey, a bright light shone from heaven, and he heard a voice saying, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" And he became blinded by the light, and he didn't know what was happening to him, and he had to be led into the city. And finally, some brave disciple named Ananias was sent to pray for him and help him to understand that God had rescued him through Jesus and he had a commission for his life. He tells the story in great detail in Acts chapter 9. Later on in Acts chapter 22, the circumstances are actually astounding. He's in the temple. He has been preaching the gospel for several years. There is a lot of opposition to it because people are happy with their religious way of life, their religious way of thinking. We've got our way. We follow the law. We achieve a certain self-righteousness. We please God with sacrifices. This is our way. And why are you talking to us about Jesus? And such is the opposition to Paul that they grab him in a context like this, the temple. And the crowd is so violent and the anger is so deep that they try to kill him as they drag him from the temple courts. And so violent is the crowd that the Roman soldiers have to intervene with their horses and soldiers and guards, and they manage to save Saul's life. Gather him, protect him by soldiers, and they're leading him towards the barracks. And while he's going towards the barracks, Saul pleads with the commanding officer, says, "Let me speak to these people." And they put him on the steps so he can talk to a crowd that's just tried to kill him. And what does he tell them? His testimony. Tells them the story of what he was like. You know, I was just like you. You know, I was a persecutor of the way of Jesus. If anyone wants to confirm it, they can. You know what I was like. What happened to me on the road to Damascus, that bright light. He tells the whole story in detail, trying to convince them about the truth and the reality of the gospel of Jesus Christ through the work that God has done in his life.